think that detachment is about being cold or unemotional, but that's not what it's about. Detachment isn't that you own nothing, it's that nothing owns you. In today's video, I want to discuss how practicing the art of detachment will allow you to effortlessly attract your desires and take back your power. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Eva, and in this space we talk about how to level up and live our dream lives. We talk about things such as feminine energy, holistic wellness, and mindset. So if that sounds interesting to you, please consider subscribing and keep watching. As always, timestamps are down below and video chapters are as follows. Have you ever noticed how when you chase something, it seems to slip away, but as soon as you stop caring as much, the opportunity is suddenly presented to you? This can be with people or situations, but there seems to be this peculiar inverse relationship. And my question is, why? What it comes down to is the law of detachment, which states that the way to acquire anything in the universe is to release your attachment to it. More specifically, our attachment to the outcome. See, it's one thing to say, oh, I really like this person, but it's another thing to say,
I have to be with this person.
In the second example, when we become so attached to an outcome, we start trying to control things and control the situation in ways that we just have no business trying to control it. This might look like trying to control someone else's feelings or their actions, or, going through somebody's phone, or if you're trying to hear back from a job, checking your email every single day and just driving yourself crazy. It leads to all sorts of thoughts and behaviors where control is the main objective. And let me tell you why this is so problematic. I want you to imagine that you are holding a can of toothpaste. And we try to have so much control and we are holding on so tight. What is going to happen? Eventually, we are going to crush that tube. And when we crush it, all of the toothpaste is going to come out and it's going to shoot away from you. This is really not what we want. In fact, it's quite the opposite. We want to attract our desires, not repel them. And we want them to be able to just effortlessly fall into our laps. So that is what this video is going to teach you how to do. We're going to go over why we get attached in the first place and how to stop being attached so we can call back our power and create that dream relationship, that dream job, that dream life without the attachment to the outcome. So with that being said, let's jump in. In order to properly practice detachment, we have to first understand why we get attached in the first place. And there are two main reasons: brain tricks and scarcity mindsets. See, there are chemical things that happen in our brains which can cause us to feel very attached to someone, especially when they are being hot or cold, or they're not really sure if they like you, and so you feel like you kind of have to prove yourself. What this does is it creates uncertainty. And our brain gets really focused on trying to figure it out. It literally becomes like a game to our brain where it is releasing dopamine every time this person or circumstance is giving us validation or attention. Even if a person isn't being hot or cold, our brain can still very easily form attachment when dopamine and oxytocin is released. Sometimes so much to the point where you get hooked on the feeling of being around this person or getting their attention. In some cases, we even start idolizing a situation or a person where our idea of it is better than it actually is. I know so many people who have fallen down the rabbit hole of thinking,
I'm never going to find anybody like this person ever again. I'm never going to be able to move on. What if they move on?
Blah, blah, blah. And I get it. These thoughts are real and they can be very scary. But here is the thing. Your brain is playing tricks on you, and scarcity is an illusion. Do you know how many people there are in the world? Do you know how many realities we can experience? If you've ever read the book, The Mountain Is You, or you're familiar with the author Brianna West, I remember in an interview once, she said if she could get everybody in the world to believe one thing, it would be this: there are things out there so good that you wouldn't know to ask for them. And you have no idea how good it can get and how good it can be. Those were her own words. There's something that I remind myself of every time something doesn't go my way, or something that I really, really wanted just doesn't work out, and it always makes me feel better. I always tell myself, okay, now I am one step closer to living the life that I am meant for. Obviously, if this situation didn't work out, that means that God has something better for me in store. If God was done with you, if this was the end, then you wouldn't still be here. But you are, so there are still greater things in store. The first piece is the understanding. It's essentially the mindset. But sometimes it's helpful to have things that are actually a little more tangible. And some of us have to learn things the hard way. So here's my advice to actually detach. First things first, this one might be a little controversial, but I believe that sometimes you have to let yourself go through something, or you have to let somebody do you dirty so you can realize that you deserve so much more. I think Christian Walker articulated this point very well, so I will input his video now.
Christian, my ex-boyfriend and I had a toxic relationship. He cheated multiple times and I left him. A year later, he's telling me he's changed and wants me back. Is it crazy to give him another chance? You know, this question perfectly highlights that the problem with some of y'all isn't that you're not pretty enough. It has nothing to do with the woman you are. You're just not pissed enough yet. You haven't hit rock bottom. Some of us hit rock bottom in high school after dealing with a stupid boy in high school. Others have to enter a marriage with a guy they should have never been dealing with, pump out 3 kids for him, and get left alone with no money while he runs off with another woman. There's different levels to this. So when I get a question like this, toxic relationship, he's cheated multiple times, and the girl's thinking about going back to him, I say, you know what, girl? Go back to him, because maybe you'll finally get pissed enough to find your self-worth. Maybe you need to get screwed over a 500th time before you realize who the hell you are. I talk what I talk so that you don't enter the marriage with the toxic guy and get left alone, so that you don't make a stupid decision, get pregnant by a guy you should have never been dealing with. But if you want to continually make bad decisions, I'm clapping for you. I'm cheerleading because I'm hoping that maybe after this time, you find it in yourself to stop accepting horrible treatment. Some of y'all need to go get in a toxic relationship, because after that, you'll realize the phoenix that's inside of you, and you'll rise the hell up and you'll go find a king. But until then, go get screwed over. Done.
No, actually though. I love his passion. I feel like we are saying the same thing, but the way he conveys the message, I think it's awesome. And I actually hope for you the situation doesn't have to be as extreme as cheating, for you to recognize your self-worth and realize that you deserve so much more. You shouldn't be afraid to lose people who don't want you or who don't respect you. In fact, you should be saying that to yourself as an affirmation every day if you need to. I'm not afraid to lose people who don't want me or who don't respect me. It physically pains me to see these beautiful, smart, talented women, and sometimes men, who are just hung up on these situations and these people. And I just want to shake them and say, don't you realize that the magic was you this whole time? It wasn't this person, it was you. I feel like so many times when people get hung up on a person or a situation, it's because something is missing in their own life, and so they're using that to fill a void. Until you truly believe that you are the love of your life and that you don't need another person or that job to feel complete, to feel whole, you're going to be stuck in this cycle of getting so attached to the outcome of these things. So how do you stop doing it? How do you become whole for yourself? You get a life. By getting a life and filling it with things that bring you happiness and love and joy, you are showing yourself, you are affirming to yourself that that is what you deserve, that your life deserves to be filled with happiness, joy, and abundance.
Hey guys, so I just started editing, but then I realized there was actually more I wanted to say in relation to getting a life, and I literally journaled about it as well. So I just feel like it was one of the best things I actually did for myself, because when things didn't go my way or plans were falling apart, I still felt like there was so much abundance in my life, so there was never really this sense of lack. And that's why I talk so much about holistic wellness, like having a relationship with yourself, making time for your friends and for your family, having a spiritual relationship, romantic ones, purposeful work. Like, it's all so important. And I think having them all at the same time is another conversation, probably one for a separate video. But the point being, the second something wouldn't work out, then I could think to myself, okay, well, now that's going to give me more time for X. Or now I can be working towards creating my dream blank. Okay, that's all.
I can't tell you how many times I have gotten caught in a negative thought cycle, and I've said to myself, you know what? I am going to move out of this mindset of lack and pour myself into something that I know is going to fill me up. So I go and see friends, and I'm just around so much positivity and joy that it rejuvenates me. It brings me back to life. And this is exactly how we call all of that power back to ourselves. When you realize that you are the magical one, you are the one that was making that experience so wonderful, even though your mind played it up to be probably something more than it was. It wasn't the other person, it was you all along. And the thing that you are searching for in that other person has been inside of you this whole time. Once you start framing things from this perspective, that's when you start to become very magnetic, when opportunities seem to just fall into your lap because you are the center of your world. You have become the main character of your own life rather than centering somebody else. And that is what detachment is about. Yes, you can still be in happy, healthy relationships with people, and you can still practice detachment, because the reality is we don't know how long people are going to be in our lives for. Change is inevitable and uncertainty is reality. Once we recognize that, and once we actually embrace that uncertainty, it sets us free and it allows us to become a magnet for opportunities. If you have made it this far, I want to thank you so much for watching. We are now at nearly 5,000 subscribers, and when I first started this channel at the beginning of 2024, I had a total of 11 subscribers. So the fact that we are here, I just have so much immense gratitude for, and I want to thank you for being here. So if you enjoyed this video or if you learned something from it, I would love if you could give this video a like, comment down below, and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out. But with that being said, I thank you again so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.